have you on Asset Television News. Welcome to Asset Television. I am Omike Matthew. And here are the headlines. Nigerian Army secures release of 100 kidnapped victims. PDP, CUPP criticizes Wike for openly declaring support for President Tinubu. Take It Back movement plans nationwide protest June 12. For details of these stories and more, do stay with us. As part of initiative by the Chief of Defense Staff to ensure that journalists covering military activities have a first-hand information on frontline operations, Defense Headquarters has again toured theaters of operations. This time visiting the Northwest region where they have Operation Fasanyama covering Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina, and Niger states respectively. The team, led by Group Captain Ibrahim Bukar, visited the 8th Division of the Nigerian Army and the Theater Command Operation Fasanyama, and it was received by General Officer Commanding 8th Division and Commander Sector Operation Fasanyama Major General Ibikunle Ajose, who explained that the Nigerian military have intensified their crackdown on the notorious Lukarawa terror group.
The Operation Chase Lakura was out. Sometime last year they resurfaced and the Defense Headquarters sent a Special Operations Brigade to operate in Tangaza, Gudu, Silami, areas of Sokoto State, and Agui and Arewa of Kebbi State. And I must also state categorically that we have been able to destroy all their camps in Sokoto and Kebbi State. They are a highly mobile terrorist group, but we have decimated them and they keep crisscrossing between Nigeria and Niger. And we have also been partnering with the Nigerian forces to ensure that they do not have any freedom of action.
According to the GOC, the fight has not been without cost, where some soldiers paid the ultimate price, where others were gruesomely decapitated during encounters with the insurgents.
These achievements has also come with its downside. Some of our colleagues have paid the supreme price. We have lost some officers, we have lost some soldiers, we have lost equipment, and some are in the hospital recuperating from one form of injury or the other.
While emphasizing the critical role of local communities in sustaining military gains, particularly along Nigeria's porous borders, General Ajoshe noted that where military presence is consistent, the locals trust the forces and willingly provide intelligence about Lakurawa movement.
The operation is not all kinetics. We also have our non-kinetics engagement spearheaded by the various state governments and Operation Safe Corridor Northwest. And we have also started getting positive results. We've had stakeholders engagement with the Fulani community, the Hausa community, and some of the terrorist groups have shown their willingness to drop their arms. And a few weeks ago in Katsina State, we had some groups in Batsari and Jibia that surrendered some arms unconditionally and also released some kidnapped victims. It's work in progress, and we are geared to ensure that we continue to put in our best to ensure that we successfully complete our mission.
General Ibukule further stated that intermediate deployment left some communities vulnerable and disengaged, saying non-kinetic strategies had also yielded remarkable successes, particularly in Katsina State, where dialogue and engagement with Fulani and Hausa communities led to the unconditional release of 100 kidnapped victims. On accountability within the armed forces, General Ajose explained that soldiers caught selling or releasing weapons to bandits and terrorists would face penalties, which may include capital punishment. Lakurawa Group is known for its cross-border operations from Niger State, from Niger Republic, I beg your pardon, to Nigeria through northwest region of Nigeria. In the same vein, the team toured Gusau in Zamfara State, where troops of 1 Brigade Nigerian Army has secured the release of 100 kidnapped victims through a non-kinetic strategic engagement with critical stakeholders aimed at restoring peace in Zamfara State. Commander of 1 Brigade, Brigadier General Timothy Upuram, who made the disclosure while briefing a defense correspondent led by Group Captain Booker as part of a media tour organized by Defense Headquarters to provide first-hand information on the operational activities of troops in the Northwest region, described Zamfara State as the epicenter of insecurity in the Northwest, stressing that tackling the security crisis in the state would address nearly 80% of the region's security challenges.
The level of criminality has risen to the point it has now become more of terrorism. However, the brigade has done so much in containing the level of threats, and we have drastically reduced the level of insecurity to enable socio-economic development in the state. Upon taking over as the Commander 1 Brigade, we have been able to enter criminal enclaves, bandit enclaves that have never been entered in the past, and we're able to take out so many daredevil criminals, including Halilu Subudu and so many others. Over 25 terrorist kingpins have been neutralized, along with their foot soldiers. We have equally rescued a lot of kidnapped victims, recovered rustled cattle, equally recovered arms and ammunition. This would not be possible without the cooperation of other security agencies and other stakeholders. The level of
It traced the roots of the conflict to a long-standing feud between Fulani groups and the local militia known as Yan Sake, which reportedly triggered the extrajudicial killing of a Fulani man by the militia group.
From what we gathered from the perspective of the Fulanis, the insecurity in Zamfara State started long ago when a particular influential Fulani man was extrajudicially killed by a group called Yansake. Yansake are homegrown neighborhood security outfit that some villagers felt that they should protect the villages from attacks on any other form of insecurity. So these Yansake were alleged to have extrajudicially killed the man, and then when justice was not done to that issue, that was what led this some Fulani youths to take up arms.
The second meeting of the stakeholders will determine success of some of the conditions issued by the military, which is to stop attacks on the citizens, farmers, among others. And now to political matters now. The People's Democratic Party, the new Nigerian People's Party, coalition of united political parties, and others have strongly criticized the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, for openly declaring his plan to lead President Bola Tinubu's 2027 re-election campaign. During a media chat in Abuja, Wike described himself as a key asset in helping Tinubu win the 2027 election. The former Rivers State governor also insisted he was not involved in any anti-party activities and challenged the PDP to suspend him if they believe otherwise. In response, the party's deputy national youth leader, Timothy Osadolo, urged Nigerians to disregard Wike's comment, stating that the party would soon enforce its rules against the minister. The CUPP's publicity secretary, Mark Adebayo, labeled Wike as the president's hatchet man, accusing him of working to dismantle opposition parties. The NNPP asserted that Tinubu would be defeated in 2027 in 2027 election despite Wike's endorsement. The Take It Back movement has announced plans to hold a nationwide protest on June 12. According to a statement by its national coordinator, Jowan Sayolu, the protest was to draw attention to the country's worsening insecurity, shrinking civic space, and growing economic hardship. Rejecting official celebrations of Democracy Day, it urged Nigerians to take to the streets in peaceful protest, calling on workers, students, civil society groups, artisans, and members of the diaspora to join the action. He insisted that there was no going back on the protests across the states and the federal capital territory. The insistence on a protest is, however, against a ban on public protests by the Nigerian police. The movement condemned the rising wave of insecurity in the Middle Belt and northern parts of the country, pointing to continued attacks in Benue, Plateau, southern Kaduna, and other states. Sanyolu said the entire communities of some of the states had been wiped out while thousands remain displaced, while the government either turning a blind eye or denying the scale of the carnage. To judicial matters now, court proceedings at some courts across the country were grounded on Monday as the nationwide strike declared by the Judicial Tribunal of Nigeria took effect. The Lagos Division of the Courts of Appeal and the Federal High Court in Lagos State came to a standstill. Also, the Federal High Court in Benin, Edo State, was deserted, with activities grounded to a halt following the nationwide strike by the union. Josun's national leadership had in a circular dated May 30, 2025, and signed by the acting National Secretary M.J. Akwashiki, directed all chapters to embark on an indefinite strike beginning at midnight on Sunday, June the 1st. According to the union, the industrial action became necessary after negotiations with the federal government broke down. The union bemoaned the federal government's inability to release funds for the 70,000 minimum wage settlement to settle the 5 months wage arrears and implement the 25-35% salary increase. While the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekeru Edun, reportedly intervened, leading to members working in the Supreme Court and National Judicial Council to opt out of the strike. Some 6 chapters observed the strike on Monday. The House of Representatives Committee on Basic Education and Examination Bodies on Monday chided the management of the West African Examination Council WAEC over widespread irregularities and operational failures that characterize the 2025 Senior Secondary School Certificate examination. At an investigative hearing at the National Assembly, lawmakers grilled the head of WAEC Nigeria, Dr. Amos Dangot, over what they described as systemic lapses that had eroded public trust in Nigeria's examination process. The body faces sharp criticism following widespread reports of irregularities and operational failures during the ongoing examination nationwide. Stakeholders, including parents, students, and education experts, have expressed deep concern over logistical lapses, security issues, and poor management that have undermined the integrity of the examination process. These challenges have sparked calls for urgent reform to restore public confidence and ensure a fair, transparent examination system. A former Secretary General of the Anglican Communion Worldwide, Most Reverend Josiah Idowu Fiera, has urged the federal government to take a more proactive approach in addressing security challenges across the country, expressing concerns about the rates of killings in Nigeria, particularly in Plateau, Benue, and the resurgence of Boko Haram attacks in the northeast states. Idowu Fieron emphasized the need for concerted efforts to address the security challenges facing the country. According to Idowu Fieron, the rate and ease with which human beings are killed in Nigeria seems to be the highest in the world. The cleric stated this in a Zoom meeting with journalists in Kaduna. Idowu Fieron, who is also the founder and president of Kaduna Center for Study of Christian-Muslim Relations, urged the government to provide clarity on the security challenges facing the country, saying, "Let the government tell Nigerians how she understands our problem." And that ends the news on Assets Television. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media handles. On behalf of the production team, I am Omike Matthew. Thanks for watching.